Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on and see if anybody's out there. We are going to talk testimonials today. So I have seen quite a few posts. Actually, I've seen 3 or 4 in the last week. Plus, I had a client who asked me, basically said to me, Angela, I get people who really rave about my work, but they say they're going to do a testimonial, and then I wait and they don't get me one. How do I get these testimonials, and how do I get them on multiple sites? So how do I get them on House? How do I get them on Google? How do I get them on Facebook? A lot of these places make the client have to put them on. So yes, we're going to talk about that today. So I'm just going to give a couple minutes. We're going to wait for a few people to come on board. Hi, Mickey. How you doing? When you come on board, just please introduce yourself. Say, let me know. Do you struggle with testimonials? Do you have a lot of testimonials? Do you have any testimonial questions? So if you can just post them in the comments, let's make this as engaging as possible. I got about 20 minutes to share with you, and I would love to take that 20 minutes to help you with your testimonial challenges. All right. So anybody else? Who else is on? Let's see. All right, so we're going to keep going. My name is Angela Brooks Osborne. I'm a marketing coach, and I work and specialize working with stagers and decorators, although I do work with other small businesses. For example, today I'm working with a restaurant, putting a marketing plan together for them locally. If you are struggling with your marketing, or you just want to take your business to the next level, I'm the girl for you. The same way that you're passionate about making these homes out there and properties out there ready for sale, I am passionate about making your business ready to have abundance and be able to get as much money from your business as you possibly can. So Mickey says that she has a hard time getting people to follow up with her. So they say they're going to do the testimonial, but just following up and getting the testimonial can be hard, right? It's common. The other challenge that people have is, they will, somebody will be raving and they'll say, I'll definitely do a testimonial for you, and then weeks go by and nothing. Crickets. You get nothing. So how do we follow up without feeling like we're pestering? And also the excitement's gone down a little bit. Do they still like it? Are they still as happy with my work? That kind of thing. So what we want to do is we want to strike when the iron is hot. And really you can avoid all of it just by pulling out your smartphone and taking a video right away when they're excited. That would be the way that I would do it. As soon as somebody says something that I feel would benefit my business, or I'm excited to hear their feedback, and I'm really glad that they appreciate my talents and work. I'll pop out my phone, I'll pop out my video camera and get it while they're all excited. So that's always been very, very easy. A lot of times they'll go, oh, no, I don't do video, and I'll say, oh, okay, well, it would really help me, and it's the best, it'd be the best way that I could get, more clients if you could help me, if you could do the video. And they always say yes. They struggle with it a little bit, but they get through it and they do it for me. Okay, so let's say, for example, you don't feel comfortable pulling out the video camera. What are some other things that you can do? Well, one of the things that I have done is created as part of my processes, and I give this advice to my clients. So this is where this all came about. About 2-3 weeks ago, I had a client that said, Angela, I have this amazing client. She was so happy with my work, and here's the project. This is how I helped them. And she said she would do a testimonial, but she hasn't given me one yet. And how do I approach her again 2 weeks later? How do I make it happen? So I started, if you've ever been in any of my workshops or on a coaching call with me, you will see that sometimes it's like I tap into this inner thing and I just answer the question, and it comes out very quickly. And I have a list of things that you can do. And this happened, and she just kind of went very quiet, and she said, I couldn't write fast enough. Can you repeat that? And I said I would write it out and type it out and give it to her by email. So instead of doing that, I actually wrote a blog about it. I felt that this was a common question, and so as a common question, I wanted to be able to share it with everyone. I have started a new series called MotivACTIOnals. And instead of giving motivational quotes and sayings and stuff like that, I have decided to give some motivational actions that you can take in your business to move you forward. So usually it's a challenge, it's something that, it's an action that I've given some tips and information so that you can finish that action and move forward in your marketing in some way. So this one here is MotivACTIOnal for testimonials, how to get your raving fans to give you a testimonial. And I wrote down the steps that you could take to make this happen and how to get more of them. So right off the bat, I start off with using a feedback form as part of my processes. So I believe that you should be doing this anyways. Feedback forms give you so much information. It gives you information even when it's not a raving fan to be better. It might give you more information on how to add more services to accommodate maybe the new needs that a client might have. So when they're filling out their feedback form, yes, it's been wonderful, but now I have this problem, that can trigger another service that you could provide, or at least it could trigger an added value maybe. At least knowing what your clients are struggling with and getting that information and feedback from your clients is important. A lot of times we do the work and then we just walk away and we don't get the feedback. So the very first thing I do is I would start with a feedback form, and it would be part of my process. Every time I do a job for someone, I would include the feedback form as one of the steps in completing the job. The file folder would not get put away. The client would not be listed as completed or the project completed until that feedback form went out. Okay? That feedback form can be used to compile a testimonial if you ask the right questions. So inside the blog, and I'll put the link later inside this I'll put the link later inside the comment forum, but the very first thing I say is to create the feedback questionnaire and just keep it simple, asking about 3 questions, okay? I give a couple examples. What was the best part of working with ABC staging? So what was the best part about working with me, okay? Would you recommend ABC staging to others? Why? Okay? If you could use only 3 words to describe your experience with working with us, what would those words be? Okay, so let's do this as an example right now. Okay, so if you have worked with me in the past, or if you've seen any of my workshops, or you have had any of my videos like this and you've gotten great information from me, let me ask you these 3 questions. Pretend that you're filling out my feedback form. I've sent you a feedback form. Okay, so let me say, what is the best thing about knowing me, about having me, or being in this home stagers group, for example? So many of you might not know, but I own this home stagers group. It's been around for probably, oh gosh, about 6 years now, I think 6, 7 years, or longer, maybe 8, 9. Anyways, so what is the best thing about this home stagers group, or working with me if you've worked with me in the past? Okay, would you recommend this home stagers groups to other stagers, and why? Okay, would you recommend me to other stagers, and why? Okay, if you could only use 3 words to describe your experience with me, what 3 words would you use? Okay, I want you guys to fill these out in the comment section. Okay, and you will see what I can do is I can take those answers, okay, and I can write a testimonial based on your answers. All you're doing, if I said to you, Lori, Nikki, can you please write me a testimonial? You would go, absolutely, I would love to, okay? And then you get busy in your life, you get, doing other things. You want to sit down and give me a really good one because you really do, do enjoy working with me, that kind of thing. So sometimes we tend to put it off because we want to do a good job, okay? So our intentions are well. But what happens is life gets in the way, weeks go by, months go by, and it doesn't happen. Okay, so in this format, by me asking these questions, so what's the best part of working with me? What would you recommend me to other stagers, and why? And if you could use only 3 words to describe me, what would they be? if you were to answer just those questions, you could do them very quickly. Okay, I'm not asking you to stop and write something brilliant. I'm asking you just to answer these questions. And what ends up happening, I also would, on my feedback, I would also say, are there any other comments that you would like to say? And what happens is they get answering the questions, and as they're answering those questions, they think of other things. Oh, you know what? I really liked how Angela helped me build my marketing plan, how she took step-by-step of my newsletter. I've been wanting to do a newsletter forever, and she made it very simple, and now I'm doing a newsletter every day, or every month, sorry, not every day, but every month, you know? Stuff like that. So the comments will come if we leave that open. They'll be raving about you, answering the questions, and then in the comments, they will also add something else that you haven't thought of, and you give them the opportunity to do that. The other thing I ask on the feedback form is, you know, what's your name and what would you like to be given, you know, what's your title kind of thing. So if you're, especially if it's business to business, so that, and I would even put a website so that you're giving them credit, so they're getting exposure by giving you the testimonial. So for example, if Lori was to give me a testimonial today, you know, I would be promoting her business out through my whole network. Right? So I would have her website, I would have who she is, and the title that she would want to have. So on the feedback form, it has her name, it has the title, it has her website. I might even put what city. Most of the time when I work with my clients, I know what city and I want to put them in. It helps with search engines. Okay, so if I put Toronto home stager, for example, and it's Lori, and I put her web address, and then underneath it, I put a compilation of what she said. Okay, so anybody want to try it? Does anybody want to answer those questions so I can give you an example? I'll give you a live example of how it works. Now, Lori, I know I've done business cards for you and stuff like that. Maybe you could quickly answer those questions. What was the best part of working with me? Would you recommend me to others? Why? And if you could only use 3 words, what would those 3 words be? Okay, here I'm going to post these into the comments really quickly so that you can answer them. Because I want to show you how I can easily compile this back as a testimonial. And using that testimonial, I know this is a very brilliant way to get a testimonial today for myself, but I want to show you how I can compile that back and then I can show it how it works, okay? So that being said, so there, answer that question. You could answer it like you'll see if Lori is still with me and is listening. If she can answer, if she does that, then you can see how fast and quickly she can answer the questions. I can then turn it around just as quickly and send it back to her. And when I send it back to her, I'm going to send it back and say, thank you so much for filling out my feedback. Here's what I've put together as a test, here's what I've put together as a testimonial. Would you mind if I use this on my website? And if you don't mind taking just a couple more minutes, here are the links to House and Google, and this would be the biggest thank you that you could give me. I'd be ever so grateful if you could just copy and paste this into these platforms. Now, I do realize that House will take a couple minutes to sign up. It only takes a couple minutes. If you could do that for me, you have no idea how many jobs I could get this year if you just took the moment to do that for me, and it's the biggest thank you. Okay? So that would be how I would respond. Okay? Then, so let's say, for example, you do that. Let's say you send out a feedback form and the person has said to you, yeah, I'd love to do a testimonial for you, and you send out the feedback form. You get nothing, crickets. Days go by, and you really want that testimonial. So what I would do is I'd have it set up. I send a feedback form, and then a few days later I follow up, and it's part of my process. As soon as I send it out, I'm going to set a reminder on my phone or in my day timer, depending on which way you like to use. And I honestly like to use my day timer more than I do my phone. So on my day timer, I would actually put a follow-up. I would put a follow-up for, sorry, someone's coming home. I put a follow-up for me to follow up with getting that testimonial. So then the testimonial, what I would do is I would reach out and I would say something along the lines of, hi, I know we all get busy, and I understand if you're unable to answer the questions a few days ago. I'm hoping you might have some time right now. You know, your feedback is super important to the growth of our business and is the biggest thanks you can give us. Okay. Now I wrote this in the blog, so if you want, need the words, you can tweak it up a little bit, that kind of thing. You can get it from the blog. The other thing is if I don't hear anything in a couple days from then, I might pick up the phone and call. Because they said they would give me a testimonial. It's not that they don't want to. Their life is just busy. And it's not that you're bugging them, okay? You're really not. You're just reminding them that you're there, okay? And most cases, people really do want to give you this testimonial. They're just, like I said, it's coming up with the words is hard, okay? So I've done this before. I've actually, I had to put together a marketing promotion material for an event, for example. I needed to have it done by tomorrow, end of day, and I needed some testimonials. So instead of sending the emails and waiting for them to find the time, that kind of thing, I actually just picked up the phone and I said, I'm working on a promotional marketing material, a promotional for my company, and I know that we worked really well together. Would you mind if I asked you a couple questions and threw together a testimonial? I'll do all the work. You just have to answer the questions for me. And so over the phone, I ask the question and I write down their answer. And then when I'm done, I send a copy to them by email and say, is this okay? Is this title okay? Is this website okay to promote you back, to give you cross promotion back? And I've never had a problem. They always come back going, oh, that's great, that's fabulous, thank you so much. Sometimes I've had somebody add more. Oh, well, you can also say this, and they've added more, okay, to the testimonial. All right. What else? Is there any other challenges or any questions so far? No? All right, so how I would avoid having to do any of that process or all that process is that I would pull out my phone and I would do a video as quickly as possible, get them when they're excited. And I'll tell you that videos are really, truly, they give you the most exposure. They're more authentic. People realize that you didn't just write it. It really, truly is coming from someone and from the bottom of their heart. So that's why I really, truly do recommend getting over the comfort zone and stepping over that comfort level and doing the video, okay, and trying to encourage them to do the video. So I've written this blog. I've given all these tips in the blog. One of the things about the MotivACTIONal is that you also get a worksheet to work with. So if you're ready to take action, I do have a MotivACTIONal action sheet. So one of the things that I created years and years ago, was 1, a dump book, and 2, a goal book. And the goal book really kind of breaks down your goals and takes them into small little pieces. And so I have made a downloadable for this action. So if you've been wanting to get more testimonials and you just want to get started and make that happen, I do have a downloadable that you can click on, print out, and it has the step-by-step instructions how to, it'll tell you to create, for example, I'm going to pull it up real quick. It tells you to create a feedback form, create an email template asking for a testimonial. So what you're doing is you're basically creating a process that you do once, and then you just repeat this process all the time and make it so easy for yourself. So you're not creating a feedback form each time. You're not creating a new email every time. This is actually a process, like something that you do once. And then you might tweak the beginning of your emails to be more personable for each person when you send out the emails, but the shell of it is there. The feedback form is there, and it's very easy to get the information. Okay, so you're going to create a feedback form. You're going to create an email template asking for a testimonial. You're going to create a template follow-up number 1, and then you're going to create a template follow-up number 2. Okay, you're going to create an email template for testimonial approval. So that's when, remember I was telling you, and poor Lori, I put her on the spot, and now she's not even there. She probably just went, no, I'm running away. Anyways, so what I wanted to do is, if anyone wants to fill out what was the best part of working with me, what do you recommend, Angela, to others? Why? If you could use only 3 words to describe your experience with me, what 3 words would you use? If you can fill that out, I can show you an example of how a testimonial gets thrown back for approval. So here's an example. I'm just going to quickly change these up. There's two of them that you could do. So what was the best part of working with Angela? What would you recommend Angela to others? If you could only use 3 words to describe your experience with Angela. And any other comments? I'm going to do that one. And I'm also going to do one about this group. What is the best part of being in the Home Stagers group? So if you have never worked with me, this one will work. Would you recommend the home staging group to others? Why? If you could only use 3 words to describe your experience in the Home Stagers group. I got spelling mistakes, of course. Let me fix that. There you go. What would you use? And any other comments? So anybody that's on that wants to take a minute to do that, I will then show you how you turn it around and make it a testimonial, and then how easy it is to, you know, how you make it easy for them to post on Google and House and etc. Okay? So if you take a minute to do that, even if you're watching the recording later and you wanted to take a minute and fill this out, I will then send it back and put it in the comments and show you how that would work in a testimonial and how to get how the testimonial works. Okay, so that being said, back to the form. So we were creating an email template for testimonial approval, asking for Google House and Facebook copying and pasting, and then we create a checklist of all the places we're going to feature our testimonial. So once we get the testimonial, what do we do with them? So not only, you know, yes, we've asked them to put on Google and House, and only a small percentage are going to take the time to do that because it is more work, okay? But the ones that do, great. But what can you do to just, you know, what other things can you do with these testimonials? So one, you could definitely put it on your promotion material, your flyers, etc. You can put it on your website. You can create an image for Instagram. So take one of your, you know, maybe your best shots of the project that you're talking about, or just a vignette of any shot, for example. Or maybe you might even do just a colored background or a pattern background, and put your little circle of your face on the corner or your logo of your company on the corner, put your website address at the bottom, and then put a quote from the testimonial. So you don't want to write this great big long thing on the image, but you could take an excerpt from the testimonial and put on Instagram, okay? So if I got a testimonial, I want to maximize it. I want to make sure I have this little, I would create a checklist of all the places I would put my testimonials. That would be part of the process, okay? So I get a testimonial. What do I do with it? I put it on, for me, I put it on the page, on my service page that it's pertaining to. So if it was a marketing coaching client, for example, I put it on my coaching client's service page. I would, if it was a workshop, I would put it under the specific workshop. So some people who take my pricing class, for example, they do my online pricing. When they send me an email or feedback, a lot of times they'll send me stuff that says, Angela, oh my God, this changed my business. Thank you so much. It's all clear to me. I can't believe I've lost money over the last few years, that kind of stuff. Whatever they say, I take it. I send it back and say, would you mind if I quote this? Because a lot of times I just get this as, they're just giving me feedback. They're just sending me a message. It wasn't from the feedback form. And so I will come back and I'll say, would you mind if I use this? And I would post it on the page for the pricing page, for example. So if you were to go to the price on my website and go to the pricing, you'll see a bunch of testimonials from people who've taken the pricing class. The other thing I would do is I would put it on, like I said, I would put an image together, put it on Instagram. I might even do a blog about it depending on what the project is. If the project was something that I felt close to or felt like I really changed lives, I might be able to do a blog about it and put the testimonial right into the blog. Okay? All right. So then on this form, you're also going to see, and I like to, one of the things about my company name is OTB Marketing. And OTB, some people might not know this, it doesn't stand for off-track betting, but if that's how you remember me, that's okay. You know, it actually stands for One Thought Beyond. Okay, and so I have this little thing that I say in my workshops is that's beyond brilliant. If somebody comes up with an idea, I'll think it's beyond brilliant. I'll make sure I highlight it, that kind of thing. And so I believe that what makes us stand out in our businesses and the things that we do, we all can do the same actions. Other marketing coaches can do what I do, but what can I do that can take it one step further, so one thought beyond, and make it even more brilliant, so beyond brilliant. And so in this form, I also said, so how we can maximize the action to make it beyond brilliant is create an Instagram image for each testimonial, overlay excerpts highlighting the points, and then capture as many testimonials by video as possible. Make it part of the project process. Okay, so those are the things that you can do to just make your testimonials beyond brilliant. So everybody, you know, not everybody, but a lot of people can get testimonials and get written stuff, but it's a lot harder to get the videos, or not as many people take the time to do the videos. And really, truly, they will maximize and make your testimonials beyond brilliant. All right, any questions? No? Who's all with me? Nobody has filled out the testimonial. You guys are making it all just that much more harder, I swear. Hi, Mazrique. Hi, Mickey. Who else is with me?
No one.
All right, anybody? Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. If you are popping on later watching the video, I will be downloading this video and putting it inside my blog, and feel free to answer the questions. And like I said, I will show you how it works. I will give you a testimony. I will show how the testimonial goes back to the client, and how you can get extra testimonials by just doing a feedback form. So create a feedback form, create your email template asking for a testimonial, create an email template follow-up number 1, follow-up number 2, create an email template for testimonial approval, and then create a checklist of places you will feature your testimonial, okay? And then once you do those actions that one time, later you'll be able to use them very easily and very quickly as part of your process, and you will have more testimonials than you could ever imagine. All right? Every job, I'm sure that the opportunity will be there, and you will have better results than you do now. All right, have a great day. Enjoy your Friday, and I hope you have enjoyed this MotivACTIONal. Take action. Download today. I'll put it in the comments.